Hello, my dear friends. Today, in this video lecture, I am going to discuss about the functions in C. So, first of all, let's forget about computer science for some time being. Okay, let us talk about some of our real life scenario. Okay, so in this picture, you can see a bike, and he is the bike owner. The guy is the bike owner. So, the bike owner go to the means servicing station for the bike after 1 month periodically. Okay, in is means periodically after 1 month, the bike owner goes to the service station and call the mechanic to do the servicing of his bike. So this is means exact same work, right? The servicing of the bike, the work is servicing of the bike, and the done by the mechanic. Okay, so the bike owner need not to be means need not to be give the instructions how the servicing will be done, because the mechanic knows his work better, right? Or knows his work means or better than him. Okay, so he's the mechanic, so he knows his work how to do the servicing of the bike. So the bike owner go to the servicing station and just call the mechanic and say, please do the servicing of my bike. That's it. So we can means conclude that every work, though means human is the most intelligent, but everything cannot be done by us, right? Means if I am a student, I do my regular duty, and I cannot do means the bike servicing or the computer servicing, anything means. So the works are divided, right? So here the mechanic is the person who will do the servicing, and the person, what will he do? He just call, right? He just call the mechanic and say will say that please do the servicing of my bike, and mechanic will do his work. Okay, so in our programming part, if we go for programming, this is some task, right? This is some task and done by mechanic. So here we can say that the mechanic is a function. Okay, the mechanic is a function, or the service station is a function where the mechanic does something. This is the servicing work, and the person, the owner, he just know the term servicing. He he don't he doesn't know that how the servicing is done, and what is the procedures. He does not know. He just know one thing, that is servicing, right? So he just called the mechanic and said, will say that please do the servicing, and he does the work. So ultimately the work which will be done by the mechanic is abstracted, which is the mechanic will only know, and there is nothing to do with the means the owner. He just know the term servicing and the instruction. Okay, he'll give the instruction, please do the servicing, and the mechanic will do everything for the servicing of the bike, right? So this is, we can say, means the divide of the task. Okay, so let's go for the another means and you can see that in our C programming there is some parameter passing and argument passing, and means result, means integer result we have to, float result we have to, means return to the main function. Everything is just these are very simple, don't get confused. So just go to another example. In our state of Assam, there you know that in our state of Assam there are multiple number of tea gardens are there, and actually the some of the families in Upper Assam, uh, they make some small tea garden. Okay, they make some small tree garden. So let's assume that this is our home. This is our home. Okay, and this is our very small tea garden. Okay, very small tea garden. Here in our small tea garden there is a small factory too. Okay, in my tea garden there is a small factory too in the tea garden. Okay, so what will it means, I cannot produce means tea, or I cannot plant the teas in my home, right? I have to means make a field, means I have to take a field and do the plantations and everything, factory work there only, right? So there is just this analogy of a, means the function. Okay, this is our home. So let's assume that this is our home and this is the means the plantation field or the tea garden uh, where we all work will be done, uh, and the work will be done, and we'll have the tea leaves from this garden. Okay, so this is our home, this is our tea garden. Okay, then in tea garden, what are the main needs, means what are the necessary things in a tea garden? So assume that there are number of things, means water supply, the workers, and just I have here written the fertilizers. Okay, you can see this is the fertilizer bag. Okay, so in my home, from my home, I have to give the necessary things that would be needing in the plantation of the garden and for the factory things. Okay, so for the production of the tea, the production of the tea, I have to give some inputs from my home. Okay, so what are those things? Water supply, the workers, and the fertilizers. Okay, so let's assume that I have given the fertilizers and along with another things to the tea garden. Okay, so here the work will be the production will be done, the plantations things and the production of tea in factory, everything will be done. And after doing all the things, all the procedures from the tea garden, what will I achieve? The tea, right? The tea will be returned to my home. Then I'll give the fertilizers and everything needed for the production in the tea garden. And the tea garden, from the tea garden, what will I get? That tea garden, what will return it? The tea. Okay, so this is called, means, so let's assume this is our main function. The home is our main function. From home, I give some parameters. Give some parameters, that is here the fertilizers and the plant workers, and the things which is will be needed for the production of the tea. And after doing the procedures here, it will return the final product, that is the tea to me, right? Tea to our home. So this is the return things, and the function is the tea garden and the along with the factory. Okay, this is the thing. So now go with the programming. So in our banking programming, or some banking programming, there need of the interest calculation, right? This is the obvious thing, that we have to calculate the interest again and again, right? So it is not necessary that I have to write the logic of interest, that PNR by 100 again and again. The same thing I have to write it. So it is better that write a block, write a code, means write a block of code that will calculate the same thing with the means write a code block that will give you the result. You just call the function name. Okay, you just call the function name and it will give you the result. So the function name will be here, that interest calculator. You just call the things. Okay, and what you have to give? You have to give the means the principal, the amount, the initial amount, that means, and the time and the interest, and the function should give you the means calculated interest to you. So this is most like the example. This is most like the example that the mechanic will give you the means servicing, will do servicing for you. So the same thing, the program here, interest calculator, will calculate the interest for you. And you are in the main function. Okay, and the interest calculator will calculate the result for you, the interest for you. The same way the mechanic will do servicing for you. Okay, so go for it. In this programming, I have taken like a principal amount and the time and the rate of interest, and the interest for the storing the result. Okay, so interest, so just the like the calling of the mechanic, I have called interest calculator. And what should parameter I should give? Like the parameters or the things I have to give, the means the tea garden like fertilizers. So here I have given principal, time, rate, and in rate of interest, etc. So after calling the function, the interest calculator along with the parameters that I have to give him. Okay, so here interest calculator, I have given the parameters are in this diagram. From the main function, I have given the fertilizer, so like the fertilizers things, fertilizer, the means workers and power supply and the water supplies, everything like this is like parameters, and the plantation or the tea garden or the factory is the function. Okay, so interest calculator, I have given the parameters like the fertilizers, and ultimately after calling that, then let's go to the tea garden or let's go to the our means interest calculator function. What have done here, just initialized means into result, just here it's a declare a variable name into result. And so what I've done, go to the diagram here. Okay, so here in program you can see from the main function I have called the interest calculator with the means the parameters principal, time and rate of interest. So this is the call by value. Okay, and in the next program uh, I will give you the means call by reference. Okay, so here call by value, interest calculator by principal, time, rate of interest. Okay, so in by call by value, just means remember it, in call by value it is just of that copy the variables. Okay, it copies only, okay, it copies only. So it copies the variable value. Okay, so here the principal is 1300, so here it will be copied to the interest calculator function. This is the main function. From main function I am going to copy the things 5, and the rate of interest it is the 10. Okay, so the what is the meaning of this line? This line is calling the function and the copy the copy the means parameters to the new function. Okay, so now here what I have done, calculate and return the result to the main function. So here you can see this thing means int p int r is equal to, just copy the value of these things. Okay, copy the value from main function to this one. Okay, and calculate and return the result to the main function. So return, here the calculation is done and return the result to the main function. So here you can see the in interest the result will be stored, because I have given here interest is equal to what the result will be returned from this interest calculator. Here the result is written, and the result value will be stored in the interest, as I have called the function here with the parameters. Okay, so parameter will be passing by parameter will be passed along with the function name, and after calculation here the result will be returned to the main function. Okay, so what will be the interest now here? I think it's 650. Okay, I think it's 650. So go here, the interest now has been return result will be stored in interest, and the printf the interest is, you can print the result. Okay, so again just understand the flow. Okay, understand the flow here, that first of all remember one important thing, that the in any C program, the program compilation and running starts from the main function only. So first of all here this variable will be declared and initialized, like here you can see, and after that the function will be called. Okay, so from here from this line the means the control of the compiler or control of the means execution will be go to here. Okay, so after this line automatically when the compiler will encounter this line, it will go to this function. Okay, here the copied, the parameters will be copied, the value of the parameters will be copied here, and you have to calculate the result in this line, and after return again you have to go back to this line. So the result will be stored here, and finally you can run the printf interest is here. So after getting this parenthesis, the program will be stopped. Okay, I think now you have understood well. Or so now go for the call by reference function. Okay, so call by reference is very easy, nothing to worry about, because sometimes we worry about the thing, to see the star thing. Okay, but nothing is difficult, it is very simple. Okay, so in call by reference, what is done here? So simple, do the things here, the simple, but where what is the main difference between the call by reference and call by the value? So in call by value, we have seen that the means it just copies the uh, parameters value. Okay, but here the parameter value is not copied. The address of the parameter, the address of the means variables will be sent to the function. Simple, the simple difference is the address of the function will be address of the means the variables in the main function will be sent to the function. Okay, the created function. So here you can see, so every means int a b sum here, int a, int b, in sum has been declared, and the means address of a is 122, address of b is 124, and address is sum is 302. I have just assumed. Okay, so when so we know that using the ampersand operator we can have the address. Okay, so using the ampersand operator we can have the address. Okay, so you see, I have called the function add using the uh, a means ampersand a, ampersand b, ampersand sum. That means I have copied the address, not the value, right? I have copied the address, not the value. So when I'll get this line, I have to go the function. Okay, so here in function you can see int star s, int star y, int star z. So the line, this line will indicate, this line will indicate these things. Okay, you can see this line will indicate these things. Okay, so here what I have passed, star means ampersand a, that will be stored in int star x. Simple. Ampersand b in and int star y, ampersand z in star sum. Then what will be the consequences of these things? Simple. What is the value of x? The address of a. What is this? It is, so what will be the consequences? Consequences will be that x, the x value will be 122, the address of the a, and the y value will be address of the b, and z value will be address of the z, right? Address of the sum, that is will be the z value. That means it will simply it will means point to the these things. It will point to the these things, like it will point to these things, and this will point to this thing, this b, and again z will point to the sum. So what we can conclude, that just address of the variables will be copied to the new these pointer variables in the function, and so ultimately the x will be pointing to a, b will be pointing to y will be pointing to b, and z will be pointing to sum. Okay, so there is no any copy of the content or the value of the things, just address will be copied. That's why is the pointing thing. Okay, so here you can see that this is the after means copying the address of the variables in the main function. Now the pointer variable in local function, or the pointer variable in the function, just it's pointing to the variables, right? So the operations we are going to do, or the anything we are going to do with the actual parameters in the main function only, not in, there is nothing to do in our local function or in our function. I have to do all the things in the main function only. How? Using the pointer variable. It's a very general thing, right? As the address is copied here, that means I am pointing to the variable. So what I'll do the things in my means function, it will affect the main parameters or the main variables in the, not the parameters, main variables in the main function. So go with it, the run the program. So here you can see, again I am explaining. Here the variables are initialized and declared here main function, and the function has been called. When this is called using the ampersand parameter, when ampersand using with the parameters, then the address of this all the variables will be go to the function, and in function this thing will be done. So x will hold the address of a, y will hold the address of b, and z will hold the address of sum. So ultimately this three pointer will pointing to the variables in the main function. Okay, so now do your do your logic, do your operations, what we want to do. So I have just simply star z is equal to star x plus y. That means that I am adding a and b, and the value will be stored in sum. How it has been done using the pointer. So call by reference is nothing but using the pointers. If you have seen my previous videos, then the pointers I think has been very clear to you. So call by reference is thus using of pointer. And here I mention one thing, that this is actually call by pointer, not call by reference. But in C there is no anything like call by reference, means there is no any reference operator in our C. So in our C++ we have used, means there is a reference operator. So because of this, we just call by pointer is called here call by reference. Okay, so in C call by reference and call by pointer is same thing, but in C++ call by reference and call by pointer will be different thing. So you just remember this thing, that the call by pointer is called call by reference in C. Okay, so run the program. Yeah, here is the output. Okay, here is the output. Now then some value will be erased here, and 15 is 15 is stored. Okay, so thank you my friends.